Being in your 20s is like stepping into a storm while everyone else seems to be walking through sunshine, right? It's chaotic, confusing, and nothing like the perfect picture our society tries to paint. No one tells you how messy it really is. Heck, I made so many mistakes then. And sure, there's a book called What I Wish I Knew When I Was 20. But what about everything else in between that the book doesn't say? Looking back, I realized there are at least 12 truths I wish I truly understood in my 20s, truths that would have saved me countless sleepless nights, doubts, and a lot of headache. Now I'm in my early 30s and I've had time to apply these truths, and the results speak for themselves. I have more clarity, less stress, a sense of purpose that I couldn't have imagined back then. And today I'm going to share with you those hard-earned lessons that can completely change your life and help you navigate your 20s. You won't have everything figured out. I remember when I was in my 20s, I had this constant nagging feeling that I was supposed to have everything figured out. And I used to look at people around me and feel like they were on a path I couldn't see, like I was falling behind. But here's the truth. You won't have everything figured out. And that's okay. I learned that life isn't about having a perfect plan. It's about embracing the journey and, wherever it takes you. It can be frustrating. For example, if you have a job that feels like it's beneath you, when you look back many years later, you realize that those small tasks taught you an invaluable work ethic. And it's not about the job you're doing right now, but how you approach it. And figuring out life in your 20s is about growth and not perfection. So quit thinking about perfection and go live. There's pressure in these streets. So figure out how to break from certain societal expectations. I remember constantly feeling like there was an invisible pressure to be perfect, to have a certain job, a certain relationship, a certain lifestyle by a certain age, mainly because I'm a firstborn in my family. It's exhausting trying to meet those unspoken expectations. What I wish I'd known earlier is that most of the pressure we feel in our 20s comes from the society, and in reality, no one really cares about the shirt you're wearing, the color of the shirt you're wearing, or whether your career looks impressive on paper. So breaking free from societal expectations was one of the most liberating experiences of my life. And it's not easy, but the moment you stop caring about what others think and start focusing on your purpose, you'll find true fulfillment. Allow yourself to evolve. Embrace change. If there's one thing I've learned is that change is inevitable, especially in my 20s. I was scared to let go of who I thought I should be, a young writer, a TV star. I always wanted to be a young writer. I tried to cling to that person I was, afraid that if I changed, I'd lose myself. But that's not how it works. You have to evolve, and change is constant. And if you resist it, you'll find yourself stuck in places that no longer serve you. So I have learned that allowing myself to grow and change, whether it's in my career, relationship, or even my mindset, it's the only way to move forward. But how do you embrace change in your 20s? Yeah, that's a good one. Don't be afraid to leave behind the person you were to become the person you're meant to be. Be present, and there's power in the now. One of the greatest lessons I learned came from my first boss in my first job in the United States. She would always constantly remind me there's power in being present. And at the time, I didn't fully grasp what she meant. And sometimes it was a little bit annoying, but now I do. Often we are caught up in worrying about the future or dwelling on the past. I used to spend so much time stressing out about things that hadn't even happened yet, worrying about bridges that I haven't even crossed and might never even cross. But the reality is, the only time that truly matters is right now. The past is over, right? and the future is uncertain. So learning to live in the moment in your 20s can really be a skill that will save you so much unnecessary stress. And it will allow you to live more fully and make the most of the time you have here. Stress and depression and anxiety are very real, and they sneak up on you when you least expect it. You might think, oh, my life is going so well, and then one day, boom. Find positive coping mechanisms. This is a deep one. Mental health in your 20s is a very important aspect of your life. And a lot of people deal with a lot of anxiety in their 20s. This can stem from constantly second-guessing yourself, overthinking your every decision, and feeling like you're not enough. So for a long time, I didn't know how to deal with feelings of being anxious. But what changed for me was finding a positive outlet, like exercise, meditation, healthy conversations with people, developing good habits. Those made a huge difference in my mental health. And I would say now I'm able to deal with situations like those in a calm manner compared to when I was in my early 20s. Money is good, but not the measure of success. A lot of us are conditioned to chase money and success in our early 20s because we think success looks like having a lot of money, having a nice car. But here's the thing, money is nice, but it's not everything. It can buy you things that make you happy, right? Like a vacation, a car, whatever you want, but it cannot buy you happiness or time. Time is something you can never get back. Trust me on that. And true success is just not about numbers in your bank account. It's about feeling fulfilled and having meaningful relationships and living a life that aligns with your values. So don't let the chase for money blind you to what truly matters to you. Cultivate meaningful relationships. You will need them in your formative years. Yeah. Talk about formative years. I told my husband about this, and quote to quote, I'll read exactly what he said. Relinquish toxic relationships immediately. They take away time, money, resources, and you'll never get that back. Attachment leads to suffering. You need to plan to let go. In your 20s, your relationships will shape you more than you realize. The people you surround yourself with, they have a massive impact on your mindset, your goals, your happiness. And that's why it's so important to cultivate meaningful relationships with people who lift you up. On the other hand, toxic relationships will drain you. They take up your time, your energy, your emotional bandwidth, leaving you depleted. There's nothing to gain from a toxic relationship. Don't be afraid to walk away from people who aren't adding any value to your life, and just learn to let go. It's one of the most empowering things you can do. In one of the videos that I did, it's the third video from this one, my friend and I talk about moving to the US, and one of the things we mentioned is how to build strong relationships in your 20s or in any new environment. So I'll put the link below. If you want to watch it, go ahead and do it. You will fail. But failure and setbacks. Okay, there's a car coming, so we're gonna have to wait for this car to pass. You will fail, but failure and setbacks is an opportunity for learning a lesson. In my 20s, failure was one of my biggest fears, and I was terrified of messing up, not being good enough, or falling short. But here's what I've come to understand. Failure is not the end. Every time you fail, you need to learn something new. You grow and you get one step closer to where you're meant to be. Even for me, my YouTube journey, I still feel the same way, but I'm more positive about it. Do it scared. Pursue your passions even when it feels scary. For example, when I started my YouTube journey, I wasn't sure if I'll succeed. I was hoping that I will, but there's always that voice in the back of your head telling you you're not ready. you're not good enough. But guess what? You have what it takes. You have to do it scared. If you wait until you feel ready, you'll be waiting forever. Success doesn't come from staying in your comfort zone. It comes from constantly pushing yourself to do things that make you uncomfortable. And the more you step out of your comfort zone, the more you'll grow. The sun is getting a little bit too hot here, so we'll try to move to a different section. Getting stuck in the comparison trap and social media will destroy you. If you don't figure out how to consume such platforms in a healthy way, social media platforms can destroy you. It will negatively affect your mental health. In this age of social media, it's so easy to fall into the comparison trap. You see people posting their highlight reels and start to think, why am I not where they are? But here's the truth. Social media isn't real. It's curated. It's a snapshot of someone's best moments, not their whole life. So comparing yourself to others will only lead to insecurity and unhappiness. How about you focus on your own journey? Your path is unique, and you don't need to measure your success by someone else's timeline. And I talk about this in this next video. Develop great habits. They will shape your future. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of building healthy habits in your 20s. What you do now will shape your future. I used to think I had all the time in the world to build habits when I'm older, but the truth is, the earlier you start, the better. Simple things like exercising regularly, eating well, avoiding harmful substances will have a huge impact on your future. So we saved the last for the best. Number 12, say hi to your parents. They won't be around forever. One of the biggest realizations in my 20s was how precious time with family is. Actually, this is more a realization in my late 20s into 30s. Your parents will not be around forever, and when they're gone, you won't regret that you didn't spend time with them. If you're lucky enough to have good relationships with your parents, cherish them, call them, visit them, make time for them. You'll be grateful you did. For me, my parents are in Kenya, where I come from, and I try to go there every year because it's a very long flight, it's a very expensive flight. But we video call, we chat, we talk a lot. So if you're lucky to have good relationship with your parents, then you should spend more time with them. By now, you've probably had enough lists telling you how to live your life. How about you take these lessons, get out there and start creating your own path? But if you're still feeling like you're falling behind while everyone else is racing ahead, you're not alone. Check this video where I talk about those feelings and how you can find your own unique way. Also, click the notification bell so you don't miss any video from us, and I will see you in the next video.